Hey, and we're back and we're live right here. It's Live at 11 with Billy W. Merritt, and I have a very special show today. First of all, let me tell you about my shows. Every single day at 11 o'clock, I come to you live. I'm bringing you guests. I'm bringing you experts. I'm bringing you people who can drop some specialized knowledge. Everybody says drop bombs, right? We're dropping what counts, specialized knowledge. And I see the mighty Paul Sullivan just walked by. He's got a show coming up on Friday, Feel Good Friday. We have a money show. Russ Story killed it yesterday, knocked it out of the park. So today's show's sponsored by DigiNinja. DigiNinja, it's a pretty cool software. Fastest growing software company in the car business. It's so big and so important that I wanted to rebrand my entire business DigiNinja. Well, then I go out and hire a marketing director, a marketing specialist. And he changes everything. Jeremy Newell, this is my special guest today. Jeremy is a marketing expert. He's a leadership expert. He's a branding expert. And he changed my entire marketing strategy for 2020. How's it going, Jeremy? What's going on, man?
It's going great, Billy. Yeah, I'm just glad to be here.
Well, let's tell everybody how you got here. Now, I know a lot of people say, and great leaders teach, nobody cares. You know what I'm trying to say. Nobody cares about you until they know how much you care about them or something like that. But I'm of the opinion that nobody really cares about you anyway until they know what you can do for them. So what brought us together? What is it that you're doing for me? And what is it that you specialize in that you can help somebody maybe gain a little specialized knowledge today?
Well, Billy, it's been an adventure the last few years. I was a captain for the Vidalia Fire Department, and during that time, I got very involved in the community and just started doing a lot of different stuff and started marketing the fire department. We'd never done that before. It was a smaller town, so it was just a new adventure. I went and took some training at the Fire Academy on how to brand the fire department. And then I fell in love with the whole concept of it. I started working part-time with an automotive group, and I just helped them do a lot of marketing and advertising, and it just developed into something bigger. And they offered me the position as the marketing director, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's just changed my life.
Okay. So how long where did we meet? Do you remember?
I do. We met at Paul Thigpen Chevrolet in Vidalia.
Okay. So you were actually the marketing director there when we came in and did one of our events.
That's correct.
Okay. And that's probably just been about 3 years ago, something like that.
I believe that was about right 3 years ago.
Okay. So in your marketing and in the car business and sales experience, what role do you feel that the brand overall plays on the effectiveness of a dealership?
If not branded properly, they're not going to remember you. It's all about getting the name out. We talked about this yesterday over lunch. You know, if you've got to have that name out, if you pump that name into people every time they see it, they may not be ready to buy a car or to advertise with you or, run a sale with you. But the more they see that name, they start thinking about that. Then when they get ready, the first name that comes to mind is Billy Merritt.
Okay, so let's use that as an example. So we met 2 to 3 years ago, and you were doing your thing, very successful. marketing director, advertising director. You were actually the BDC manager
at one time. Yes.
Yeah. So, which is one reason that I really was interested in having Jeremy join the team and what he could do for us. But we've known each other for a while, but we've never really had very many sit downs until very recently when we talked about you coming to work here with me. So what drew you to considering working for Billy Merritt Marketing?
Well, first of all, I have been really wanting to move back home. Douglas, Georgia is my home. I was born and raised here. But second of all, I wanted to be a part of a company that was growing. And from everything that I've seen over the past few years, Billy Merritt Marketing is just going through the roof. I have been very impressed with it. I've been staying in touch just to make sure that I was seeing what I really thought I was seeing, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. So tell me what you thought. And hey, that is a very good point. I try to keep this show rated PG-13, so I can't tell you exactly what I tell my managers. Brady's standing behind me over here. Brady's one of my team leaders and managers, and he's been in a bunch of meetings with me when I get very direct, because it's very important to the success of your business to have clear communication in what you expect and what you need. So when I'm talking to my top guys, we probably go a little bit beyond PG-13 sometimes. So I have to be careful how I tell you what I talked about in that meeting. But it goes something like this. You have to ask yourself, and I'll tell you, Jeremy, it's kind of too late now. You're already here. But I live and die by the big claim, the big offer, the irresistible offer. I'm a salesperson. I'm a marketing person. I'm going to pitch. I'm a pitch man. I'm gonna pitch you on my idea. Okay. And then I'm gonna have a lot of big claims in there because I'm a dreamer. I see the big picture. So I'm going to tell you about all the good things or I'm going to tell you the possibilities. And then you have to decide. I'll put it PG-13. PG. Is Billy full of it, or does Billy know what he's talking about? And if Billy's full of it, just ignore Billy and go on, right? But if Billy knows what he's talking about, then pay attention. We're going to do some things. We're gonna change some things, right? So back to your points, the same point. You saw, and if I hear you correctly, Billy Merritt Marketing, doing big things in the car business, leadership, guys always around in the videos, rah. And you heard what I was saying, but you had to prove and see for yourself if you were really seeing the real picture. Is that the truth?
That is the truth. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you were just not blowing smoke. You know, in the car dealership, you see a lot of times people just blow smoke to get let me find this best salesman, or let me find this best manager, and they'll blow smoke, and then they'll take the job, and it's not what it was made out to be. I didn't want to make a career change and just get here and it be a total flop. So I really started praying and thinking and doing a lot of research and talking to some people. And every time Billy Merritt Marketing came up, Billy Merritt, it was always good things. I was told you
didn't talk to enough people, because there's a lot of people out there to give you some negative feedback. But I'm glad you talked to the right people.
I was told that I could not go wrong with going to work for Billy Merritt.
Well, I'm glad you talked to those people. You mentioned a couple of things I want to talk about. Career change. How long were you at your previous job?
I was there for 4 years.
4 years. And before that, how long were you at that job?
13 years.
13 years and 4 years. So you and Paul, two of my very top managers, have something that is to be desired. That's the stick-to-itness and commitment. And which leads me to what you were saying. Some people just try to recruit people and get the best salesman, get the best manager, milk them, get all they can out of them. You know, I made a Facebook post the other day that actually you were there. So let me tell you, this is a cool story. This is synchronicity. I'm trying to say like three things at one time. So let me just back up. Let me slow down. Synchronicity is what some people call coincidence.
Right.
It's what I call the universe becoming aware of itself, or meaning showing up and giving you proof that it's real. Okay. When you came over for your first interview and you sat down with me and Paul, I believe, that night, April and I went to dinner at a very great restaurant, 317 in Douglas, Georgia. If you're ever in town, stop by 317. Great food, best Cuban in the world. Anyway, we got there and I had a napkin out, and I'm always writing down notes when I'm talking to anybody. If I'm at dinner with my wife, I'm writing down notes, ideas, always doing math on notes, got my phone out doing calculations. But I wrote down three things, I think. I wrote down a Jeep Rubicon, things I can invest in, a Jeep Rubicon, a Polaris side-by-side. What was the other one, April?
It was a Rolex. I'm not April,
Rolex.
But it was a Rolex.
A Rolex. Okay. So I wrote those things down. I'd like to have those things, and I'm going to have those things. I can have those things right now. Okay. I have the ability to have those things. But I drew a circle with a line through it. Like, no, I don't want those right now. And below that, I wrote people, and I put a check mark by it. I'm going to invest in people. And April is right here. True or false, April? You're going to have to yell so they can hear you. We looked up and Jeremy was walking in the door. True. Okay. So that's a sign. That's synchronicity. And, you know, I believe in investing in people, not dragging you over here, convincing you, giving you, because I'm a pitch guy, I'm a salesperson, giving you the pitch, getting you over here, milking you for what I can get out of you, and not rewarding you. That, you know, that I'm not looking for that.
Right.
And so, you know, I chose to invest in people, and we do that every single day. We invest in our people. You've been here. This is your second day?
Second day.
Training with Paul, training with Jamie. How would you say, as far as, you know, people being my best asset, how are my assets looking, those two guys?
They are incredible. Yesterday was a huge success. I got home last night and I couldn't quit talking about everything that I had learned yesterday, and went over some of my notes and was just excited about coming back today and getting started. It's just a great adventure, and it's a great business to be a part of. I mean, you would be a fool not to believe that this company's not growing. Yeah,
we're definitely growing. So back to your research, when you were, you know, you saw, you know what? You remind me of Paul Sullivan. He's my operations manager. Paul is I don't want to call him a skeptical person, but he is skeptical of things. He's not just going to believe something because you say it, right? You know? And he considers himself a realist. I'm not talking about him behind his back, even though I'm talking about him behind his back, because he's sitting over there running the call center facing the other way. But he's a realist. I'm not a realist. I'm an optimist. I got no business being a realist. If I was a realist, this company wouldn't be what it is today. Okay.
I agree.
But I need grounded people around me that will say, Billy, that's crazy now. And even if it's crazy, I'll still do it on April. But sometimes she talks me down. I say, okay, yeah, that was stupid. But you are, you remind me of Paul, because you have stick-to-itness. You don't make rash decisions, slow to make a decision, and slow to change your mind. So when, you know, I actually did an event at your dealership through another manager there, one of the sales managers, GSMs.
Right.
So you really didn't know. You were a little like, okay, what is this? He's coming here. I'm the marketing manager. Why in the heck are we doing this event? And, you know, this is my job, right?
Yep. That was the conversation that we had that day.
Absolutely. He didn't. Absolutely. You came in and said, look, I thought you were here to get a job, you know, because I had on a tie. I was walking in talking to the general manager and the owner and one of the other owners of the other stores. But you're like, look, you know, you're gonna have to show me something. You know, I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm not the guy who told you to come do this, so I'm kind of in the dark. And then, so it was up to me to prove myself to you, right?
Right.
And then the proof is always in the pudding. And okay, so guys and gals, if someone is skeptical of you, they're supposed to be. That's the best opportunity that you can have. You want a good skeptic. If you have a good product and you're not,
that's right,
you're not full of it, right?
Right. long as you're not blowing smoke.
As long as you're not blowing smoke. So when you were doing your research, surely you heard some from a salesperson or from a family member or from somebody, and you don't have to give names or anything like that, but I'm just trying to, I'm trying to show people that you're never going to have 100%, certainty in something. So was there any negativity that you heard, or any caution, people saying, don't do this? Or?
Well, the only thing that I was told was, I was told that everything that you've done since you started Billy Merritt Marketing has just been on point, and you have everything to back it up. And everybody in the community that I've talked to, they all were like, yeah, listen, you really can't go wrong with Billy Merritt. He is doing very well for himself. His company's doing well. We've known him for years. Everybody, has made mistakes in their life. They didn't say anything bad about you. They just said everybody's made mistakes in their life. And, he has really showed that this company, that Billy Merritt Marketing and DigiNinja, is really taking off, and it's on the right path.
Well, it definitely is. And I know it's easy to throw some big numbers out there. I say all the time, we're the fastest growing software company in the car business, and we really are,
right.
So doing what I say I do, backing it up, that led to me being able to recruit you. Fair enough?
That's correct.
Okay. Yep. So what did I get right? Because you keep saying Billy Merritt Marketing was something, you're a busy guy. You're running a dealership, branding 2 different dealerships, handling BDCs at times. What did I get right? Was it my branding? What did I do that caught your attention in the first place before you started your research?
Just the way that your name was just out there. You put on. You're always positive. Yes, there's times that you have to step up to the plate and you have to be firm with your employees or be firm with a dealer that's not getting his way per se. But you're always positive. You always look for the next step. What can I do to better myself? How can I make my company better? And with that, you also make sure that your employees are taken care of, that your employees are there along for the ride, and that they're all focused on the right direction. And that's what I longed for in a company. I wanted to be able to be a part of somebody that was growing, and not just growing themselves. They were growing their community. They were growing their employees. They were growing in every way possible.
So if somebody's doing something good, has a good product, there's an old adage that to be seen but not heard, and that your work will speak for itself, and I don't believe that, man. I think that if you got something good, you need to tell the world about it. Whether you like him or dislike him, the president we have right now is president because he told the world about everything he was doing that he could do.
Right.
So, and if you do have something good, it's very important to put it out there. At lunch yesterday, we talked about that, though. There's 2 ways you can put it out there, and I definitely miss the mark sometimes. So for somebody who's has a product, and by the way, you are the product. If you're a salesperson, you're the product. And I'm of the opinion you need to be an expert at something and show people that you know what you're talking about, and that'll lead to people wanting to buy from you.
That's correct.
Okay, but what's some mistakes that you see salespeople make that are just maybe standing on the rooftop with a megaphone, that doing it wrong? What are some mistakes? We gotta avoid the mistakes.
You just got to be upfront with your customers. I've seen many times over, you have a customer come in and maybe they can't buy right now, but you just drag it out because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You be upfront and honest with them. Honesty goes a lot further than leading somebody on. And always make your customer feel important.
What's some mistakes you see in branding, or even a lack of branding? When you see somebody that's trying too hard or just getting it wrong, what's some branding mistakes you see?
One of the number one branding mistakes is they don't get the name of the business out. Per se, like just say if it's they're trying to brand their product more than their business. If you built the name, like just for Billy Merritt, we talked about this yesterday. If you tried to advertise all your other products more than you advertise Billy Merritt Marketing, some people, they may not know what DigiNinja is yet. They're going to learn quick, but they may not know what it is yet. But Billy Merritt is rooted and grounded and established. So people know the name Billy Merritt. You know, I've had people ask me, what is DigiNinja? You know, I see that on his Facebook page. I hear him talking about it, but I'm not really sure what it is. But they know Billy Merritt.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, so get your name out there, and be known as you are the brand.
Right.
You've
got to sell yourself. If you can't sell yourself, you can't sell your products.
You know, I'm gonna you know, if you think about the dealerships, we have a lot of car dealers and a lot of sales managers, a lot of salespeople watching. But if you think about the most successful dealerships, generally it's built around the brand of one person.
Correct.
You know, and I can think of 3 or 4 of the most successful dealerships that I deal with. Their name is on the sign, and they're inside the dealership, and they can be found.
Right.
And you can call and get them on the phone.
That's correct.
Because they understand, hey, I'm the brand of this. I better make myself available, or people are going to know that I'm just a facade.
That's right.
Okay. So get your name out there. Be known as the person who does whatever it is that you do. And don't be afraid to promote yourself. Now, here's something I learned from Grant Cardone that I still believe to be true to this day. 75% of our Facebook posts, if we're properly marketing ourselves, should be informative. They should be information-based, giving away specialized knowledge, which is why we're doing 5 shows a week, giving away, you know, these things. We charge for training. You know, we do in-store training, we do virtual training, and we charge for it. But a lot of times we'll give you this information on here. The more you give, the more you get. But 75% informative and 25% promotional. You don't want to be the guy that's like, if all I posted was DigiNinja, you know, is the greatest. Billy Merritt Marketing is the greatest. You need to hire me. I need to come to your dealership. I do some of that, right, and I do it shamelessly when I do, but 75% of the time, where I try to stick to that, I'm usually giving you some good information, you know, whether it be one of our meetings that we're having, or whether it be specifics on how we do things. For instance, if you're going to talk to your customers digitally, and you better be doing it digitally, you need to make big offers. Have an irresistible offer ready at all times and know what it is. You need to know your pitch. You need to have a pitch. If you're in a business, you need to have a pitch. That pitch needs to be sharp, and you need to use it often.
That's right.
With every customer. Number 2, you better be fast. You need to be fast. You can't wait around. We're going to bring this back to you in the BDC in just a second. You can't wait 30 minutes to talk to these leads. They're already buying from somebody else. And number 3, just have a great attitude. If you'll blend those three things together, have a great attitude, be fast, and make a big offer. Be fast, have a great attitude, and make a big offer. Just do that over and over and over. You'll be light years ahead of your competition for sure. When you ran the BDC, what's some of the, and by the way, BDC stands for Business Development Center. We have a BDC. We have a large BDC. And when we hire and recruit people, I tell them they're a BDC agent. They don't know what it is. So they don't even know what a BDC is. So I just tell them you're a ninja now. But that's the Business Development Center. That's where we take, or your dealership takes leads, takes information, takes service ups, and then develops that in business through certain practices, reaching out to them and making offers to them. What's some of the mistakes? What's some of the problem areas that you saw in running a BDC?
They get complacent. Your agents get complacent. If the leads aren't coming in as fast as they'd like, they get bored. Then they pull out their phone and just get sidetracked. Then again, sometimes they come in too fast for them, and they get overwhelmed, and then they just shut down. But if you're properly trained and properly staffed, like we are here, you can handle those leads coming in no matter how fast they're coming in. So complacency, you mean like the agent, or in this case, the ninja, our digital ninjas. When you say complacent, just doing the same thing over and over without, explain to me what you mean by complacency. They just get, better term, they get lazy.
Okay. All right. That's what I was looking for. I mean, yeah. I didn't specifically know lazy, but I just wanted to make sure I was clear. I see that. I see that often. I see people get lazy. It's a big problem that I've seen is just lazy people, because we expect, and here's been one of my biggest mistakes in retention, is I just expect other people to do what I do, and I expect them to think like I think. And then April reminds me of how crazy out there thinking wise I am sometimes, and I realize that's not the case. So what do you do when you find someone who's lazy? First of all, just don't be lazy, but that doesn't always work. So saying that doesn't work. What do you do if you have a valuable employee that you know has talent and ability, is just being lazy? What do you do?
You just you got to work with them. I mean, sit down with them and talk. There's sometimes you have to rule with iron fist, but in my experience, it's easier to sometimes just sit down and talk with the person, find out what's going on. They could be having problems at home. They could be, having financial problems. They could have been sick. They could have had a sick child last night, and they're come to work and they're just tired, But if you see it repeating itself over and over, then you really got to get to the root of the problem. And unfortunately, sometimes the root of the problem is you may need to move on and get someone else if it's went that far. But most of the time, you can just coach them and let them know that they are important to you. Let them know that they are valuable to the company, that you do need them, but you also need them to step back up to the plate and do what needs to be done.
So, and I love that, man. And there again, I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I try to communicate effectively and let people know what I expect, but the direct coaching and those conversations, when we have about 40 total ninjas now. It's 40 independent conversations. It's tough. And I think that's the biggest opportunity that I see of you bringing to our table, other than, the branding, and there's so many other things you're doing. I'm just saying that finding those complacent ninjas and making sure that we're getting the most out of them in an effective way without the iron fist, and having that coaching session. How important is one-on-one coaching with your BDC agents?
It is very important, because number one, it makes them feel like they are important. If you take the time out for one employee, whether it be a ninja or a manager or whatever, if you take the time out to sit down and figure out what's going on, what the problem is, and come up with a solution to the problem, it does make them feel better about themselves. Back in the Bible, the shepherd, he left his flock for that one lost sheep to bring it back in. That one sheep is just as important to that shepherd as the whole flock.
Yeah, especially if it's a high-priced sheep.
That's right.
Or if it's a sheep, like the golden goose, that if that sheep can keep on producing, you want that sheep back home.
That's right.
So you will go through a lot to get that sheep back. Now, you mentioned, someone may just be having a bad day. Here's something that is worth considering every single day when dealing with people. You have no idea what they're going through or what's going on at their home.
That's correct. I had an employee, top-notch employee, just was the best one we had in the BDC. She came in one day and she just didn't act like herself. I noticed it, but I gave her some space and noticed she wasn't performing well. I just called her in my office and I said, "Is everything okay?" She said, "Yeah, everything's fine." She got up and left out of my office. A few hours later, checked on her again, and it was not okay. She had a family member that was about to pass away, and her mind wasn't at work that day. I talked with her for a little bit, got her calmed down, let her go home for the day, because she was not doing the dealership or herself any good by being there. And sometimes you have to take that step. But she came back and she thanked me so much for listening to her problem and helping her out, letting her know that it was okay to go be with her family. You can't do that always. Depends on the situation. But, sometimes it's better to take somebody out of the picture just for a little bit, maybe move them to a different task, than to slow down the production and the what's going on with whatever you're working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell you what, man, empathy empathy, not sympathy, but empathizing with people and considering what they may be going through or may be thinking is very important. And I think some people may get it right every time, but most people I know, they miss that very often. We all have a lot of opportunity when it comes to being empathetic. You know, if you have someone here, you know, I hear a lot of negative talk about rich and successful people, but I'm of the opinion most rich and successful people are very generous, very good people, and that you know, the one bad apple that happens to be rich, who happens to be a jerk, is what we see so often, who is not empathetic, who does not consider other people, and is just about me, and,
That's right.
and about greed. So, you know, I look up to rich and successful people, not because of their money, but because they usually are doing some things right. And I think that the things that they do in their daily actions being right leads to the money, you know. So
well, like when you interviewed me, I told you I wanted to be a part of what you had here. You know, we're very close to the same age, but I still look up to you because you have been very successful in what you've done, and I want to be successful. You know, if you go to the bar all the time and hang out with drunks, eventually you're going to be considered a drunk.
Yep. If
I hang around with successful people, you know, eventually it's going to rub off on me, and I'm going to start becoming successful.
You know, you said a mouthful there. You said 2 mouthfuls. So, you know, find somebody that you don't have to admire everything about them, but find somebody that you can find something that you look up to, whether that be their health, the way, you know, their marriage, whether it be their finances, if it's done in a good way, not someone, you know, I'm going to tell you something. People talk about, you know, well, I should just sell drugs, or, you know, you can't make that kind of money illegally. I mean, you can't make that kind of money legally. Man, I don't understand that at all. People saying that, because when I look at the people who make money illegally with drugs and running schemes and stuff, that looks so much harder to me.
Yeah,
it looks so much harder than actually getting a group of productive people together and bringing something to the marketplace. That's the latter. Bringing a productive product to the marketplace seems so easy to me compared to doing it the other way.
And if you're doing it wrong like that, you've always got to look over your shoulder to see what's going on, because you're not doing right. If you're doing like you and you're doing a successful business, running a successful business and a successful program, you don't have to look behind you to see what's going on behind you, because you're always moving forward.
And I sleep very well at night.
There you go.
April's not here. Yes, she is. I sleep very well. She says I go to sleep faster than anybody she's ever seen, and I do. So I have no problem sleeping. But the second mouthful you said was, if you surround yourself with, let's see, the people you surround yourself with, you're going to start taking on their characteristics, and that's a fact.
It is.
The people. I'm trying to think if it was Grant. I think it might have been Grant. He said, if you'll show me your 5 closest friends, he said, I'll tell you how much money you make. I'll tell you what your religion is. I'll tell you what your politics are. I'll tell you how healthy you are, you know, based on your 5 friends.
I was part of a program when I worked at the dealership. It was called Teen Maze. It travels around South Georgia, and it teaches the teenagers how to make the right choices in life. One of the things that we pushed on them when we gave our speeches and talked to them was, if you'll show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
There you go. So that you nailed it right there. If you show me your friends, I will show you your future. And look, sometimes we have to distance ourselves from people that we love.
That's right.
You know,
they may be good to you, but they may not be good for you.
Yeah. And you know, they may not even be good to you. I know some lifelong friends of mine that I love dearly, that we had tremendous amounts of fun in high school and just after high school and through our 20s. But, you know, these guys are still acting like they were in their 20s, and that doesn't, you can't do that and have a super successful family and marriage, man.
That's right.
You know, you gotta grow up or either grow apart from some people if they haven't gotten their stuff together yet. So, find you someone that you can look up to and study those people, or either go to work for them. So I know I'm super excited about you being here because of some of the strategies that we talk about and some of the branding that we're going to be working on and what we're going to do with these ninjas and being able to take some coaching, some one-on-one, just add some opportunities, one-on-one coaching to just make us even more effective. I know you've worked locally, but now having seen what Paul and Jamie were doing and all these dealers across, did you get any contact yesterday with the dealers or see what was going on? You know, I think we have 53. Is that right, Brady?
58, I believe now.
50. Okay, so we got 58 events going. Did you see any of the action between dealers and Paul or any of the salespeople?
I did. And you know, they were quick to handle any problems. When a dealer saw a problem, you know, he would email them or text them or call them, and the team was so quick to respond to find out what the problem was, to find the solution and fix the problem all right then. You know, they didn't stop until it was handled.
So the image and the product that I put in front of the camera every day, and you know, the statements that I make about the belief in my people and being positive and being solution oriented, is that how we are when we turn the cameras off, or is this just a show?
Absolutely. It's no matter if the camera's on or off, what you see is what you get. It's been very impressive. Yesterday was a very busy day, and I was very impressed with the whole team. From the front to the back, you know, if there was anything that had to be done, if somebody said, "Oh, I've got a problem, this is not working," or "I don't know how to respond," there was another member of the team, whether it was a team leader or just the person sitting next to him, said, "Here, I know the answer. Let me help you." And you know, you're only as good as your team, and you absolutely have a beast of a team.
I do. I'm glad you see it that way, man. 59. Okay, so Brady, our producer, says we're up to 59 events. Now, you've seen our events in person at the dealership you ran. Now you've seen how we do it. You know, we work from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. What's something that we do right? Here's what I mean by giving away information. And, you know, I'm quick to tell you I'm quick to tell anybody the steps we use so that you can be better. I want to make the car business better, even if you don't use us to do it. Here's what I found in doing that, though. The more I give away, the more we give people how-tos and teach them exactly what to do, they come back and say, "Billy, will you just do this for us?" So in your limited 2-day training, but very extensive history, what's something that we do in here that a dealership can do, or a BDC can do, or a salesperson can do? Have you noticed anything yet that you could say, "Hey, do this and it'll make a difference"?
Be fast.
Really?
That's one of the things, you know. Here you send a message, you get a response right away. You know, they're fast, they're efficient. And that's the thing, you know, who wants to go sit at a dealership all day long to make a car deal? Nobody, especially if they've got kids. You got kids running around the dealership. Some dealerships are not kid friendly. They just don't have anything for the kids to do. So the parents are trying to round up their kids, and they just get aggravated. And when you get a customer that gets aggravated, it's harder to close them. They wind up leaving not happy. And so they just got to be quick. They got to be fast, you know, and be consistent with them.
So I appreciate that. Be fast, because that is a big part of it. You know, we really drill that into the heads of the ninjas. You know, you got to be fast. You got to have a great attitude, and you got to make a compelling offer. So I know you've seen some of, or you've heard me talk about my vision a little bit. I'm going to make sure you understand it fully, and then just have a conversation of what you think. You know, we started out doing one dealership a week, and you were one of the first dealerships we did. And now we're doing 59 at one time. That is overwhelming to me. That's just absolutely overwhelming. Matter of fact, I want to just look back at my memories right now and see what we were doing last year. Last year actually was one of our best months. August was our best month ever to that point in time. Yeah, we had a full house. So we were probably running about 25 events. We've doubled that in a year. And go back to the previous year, we were doing one event per week. Now we have 50 employees. I'm right on that 50 to trying to stay below 50 as long as I can. But still looking for great help if you know anyone. There's some benefits corporation wise to be under 50 employees, but we're growing extremely fast. And I told you yesterday that I want to be in 2,000 dealerships with DigiNinja. Do you think that 2,000 dealerships need our services?
Absolutely. Everybody needs our services.
Yeah. So that there's 40,000 dealerships, and you say all 40,000 need them. Well, if all 40,000 need us, half of them probably don't know they need us or won't admit it. So that gives us 20,000. How big do you think we can get? Where do you think we can take with the branding and the hiring and I invest in people and that I reinvest into the business. Every dollar that I get of profit goes back into this business to make it the most effective product in the car business. How big do you think we can get? Where do you see the future?
The future is just, I see it just continue to grow. I think the office that we're remodeling in Douglas right now to hold our staff, I think it's not going to be big enough. It's just going to keep growing. Your staff's going to it's going to turn into a major corporation, I feel like. So
you don't think that we have 36 workstations in Douglas, plus your office, Paul's office, Jamie's office, my office, and Dory's office. That's about 40 workstations, something like that. And we have a big conference table as well. You seriously don't think that it's going to be big enough for where we're going?
In 1 year's time, we'll be outgrown it.
Do you think we can grow our staff to handle our growth or acquire the staff locally here in South Georgia, or are we going to have to move to a Jacksonville, a bigger metro area?
I think that we can grow it here, but I don't see why we could not expand it to a bigger community. Sometimes you have to step out into a bigger area to recruit more people. Many corporations have offices in multiple locations, and I don't see that being a problem at all. I mean, I can see that in the future, maybe having an office in Coffee County and having an office in Jacksonville and having an office in Atlanta or Charleston.
I like the Jacksonville area. I really like the Fernandina Beach area. If there's enough population there, I could definitely see opening our second location in Fernandina, maybe Panama City.
I like St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, yeah, that's a beautiful place. But Jacksonville may make more sense because there's a lot of college-age kids. There's a lot of college people there. And some of our best ninjas and top producers are very young. Our producers right here. I think our average age employee, if you take Paul out of the equation or out of if you take Paul out of there, I think our average age is around 24, 5. He pulls it way on up to 35 just with his just one person, but nothing. There's all. What now? We help with that too. I'm 45 I'm holding on to 45 for about 30 more days. But anyway, we definitely have some very young, talented people. And that really thrills me because so many people give young people, they just like to talk negatively about them.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if it weren't for the young people my age couldn't do what these ninjas do.
The younger generation, they're extremely fast texting. They're extremely fast typing. They're good with computers, and that's what you need in a BDC. Mm-hmm. You just have to keep them focused and reward them when they do great and correct them when they don't.
So, I'm big on rewards. I don't like paying people extra for what they're expected to do. But when someone goes above and beyond and really shows out and really, takes on more responsibility. And by the way, here's something worth remembering. If you are an employee, you need to make sure that every day you are doing more than you get paid for. Do not have the mentality, that's not my job. That will leave you living under a bridge. And when things get tight, when things retract and somebody has to go, the person with the "that ain't my job" attitude will be the first one to go. Actually, that may be the second person to go. The first person to go is going to be the person with the biggest salary. So you need to find ways to improve or increase your income by being productive and getting paid on production. Because
when someone asks you what your job is, easiest response is whatever needs doing.
Whatever it takes. Absolutely. That's definitely what you need to do. But so many people like to run down young people. I hear older people talking negatively about young people. And these young people, man, they crush it. They absolutely make my job so much easier. I mean, make the things in the beginning, it was just me doing the texting, and I had the book because I knew my rules were solid gold. I knew that the 23 rules were solid gold, and I used them. And then once I was able to take it to the marketplace and show people it worked, and then get some young people involved, young people with open minds. I love the fact that we have so many young people that are not from the car business. And right. But they're some of the best appointment setters in the car business.
That's right. They're like sponges. They absorb everything. I took a class several years ago, and in the class, the instructor said, what is the one thing that everyone that walks into your job should take inside with you every day? And people were talking about attitudes and good attitudes, different things like that. And everything was true. But his point was trash. Somebody said, what do you mean trash? He said, when you walk across the parking lot to go in your job, there's always trash on the parking lot. If you take enough pride to bend over and pick up a piece of trash as you start to walk in, you'll take enough pride to do your job the right way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. And, it thrills me when I see somebody taking out the trash here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is something that lets you know that these people care about their environment. You used the story yesterday of the person that gave the speech about making your bed every day. And I need to work on that. Ask April. But that is so true. If you can't do anything else, you can find something small and just do it. Make your environment better. I like to leave the environment better than I found it.
That's right.
One example of that is in sports, in coaching teams and things, is the dugouts. You can tell the teams and the coaches who care by how they leave the dugout when they're done playing.
That's right. Yeah, I coached soccer for a long time, and in rec department, and I would tell my kids, nobody leaves until these bleachers are clean, where we always had to sit. Don't throw your cups down, pick up your trash, make sure everything's put away.
Yeah.
You want to leave a good impression, and those younger people like that, if you don't start it in them young, when they get to be teenagers and they won't have those good values and more installed in them.
Speaking of young people, our producers do a pretty good job, don't they?
They do. I've been very impressed.
Yeah, we got to get them. Our new studio is going to be very nice. It's going to have, I won't have to slump to one side. I'm going to have everything set up. And by the way, I came in at exactly 20 seconds before showtime today, or I would have this microphone over here where I could actually use it. But I didn't want to complain about it because I wasn't late, but I was on time by 20 seconds. I came in the door.
Yeah, you had me stressing a little bit.
April said, text him and tell him he's got to do it by himself. I said, they're about 3 minutes till showtime. I said, they're texting Paul, or they're talking to Paul right now saying, where's Billy? And about that time, I got a text from Paul that said, are you coming for the show? Paul thought he was going to get on here. So we've had an amazing guest of today, Jeremy Newell. He's our new performance manager. He's our new marketing manager. He's going to do big things. It's so cool when you can find somebody who shares a vision, or more importantly, when you have a vision that is yours and yours alone, and then you can share that with one person, and then you can share it with two people, and then they can start duplicating that vision and sharing it with other people. That's when life is very rewarding. So Jeremy, here's what I tell Paul, and here's what I tell all my managers, and here's what I'll tell you is I'm very glad that you see the vision. I'm very glad that you want to be a part of something. I'm honored that you would research me and want to come to work with us. And I want to continue to grow my vision. I want to share it with you. I want to do things that are helpful and productive. And I want you to duplicate those. And I want you to duplicate in others my vision so that we can just spread this thing. My job is to duplicate through you and Paul and my team leaders. You and Paul, your guys, your job is to duplicate through everyone else. You know, if we've got 50 people being productive and duplicating the vision and being productive. And by the way, everybody's job here is a problem solver. We wake up in the morning and look for problems and solve them.
That's right.
So I'm honored that you're here, man. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what you bring to the table. We're gonna really take our marketing to a new level with our website, our swag, our hiring. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. I'm glad you're here with us. Tomorrow we have Winning Together with April Brown Merritt. She said tomorrow's show is going to be crazy. I mean, I think it's kind of taboo, the thing she was talking about, if I remember correctly. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to see you tomorrow. I'll be right here. It is Live at 11 with Billy W. Merritt. Every day, Monday through Friday, Live at 11 with Billy W. Merritt. Billy Merritt Marketing and DigiNinja.